Someone said very aptly, by the way, that if you listen to your body when it's whispering, you won't have to hear it when it's screaming. We're talking in this episode about the importance of health and vitality in the purpose pursuit. If you're doing your life's work, even if you're doing any kind of work, what is the importance of health in purpose pursuit? I want us to zero in onto purpose pursuit because that's the topic that we normally talk about in these episodes, in this podcast. Why is it important for you and I to consider our health, even as we are pushing our purpose? And why is it that those things go in tandem, one hand on one hand and on the other, your health, and on the other hand there is your purpose? Why is that important? I want us to see that in this episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
I learned this the hard way, that as much as I can be obsessed with my purpose and my life's work, it is also important for me to take care of me, take care of my body, take care of my spirit, take care of my emotions. Someone say that self-love is the greatest medicine you can ever have. Before the real medicine of injections and syringes and drips, tablets and lotions and ointments, before those can come, self-love is the best medicine. Actually, it fends off the syringes, it fends off the tablets, it fends off the hospital bed, and you don't have to see the hospital bed if you have self-love. Even the Bible tells us, and I'm going to wing this, okay? It tells us that you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. In other words, the fulcrum or the focal point or the point of power or the nucleus for you loving your neighbor is loving yourself. In other words, when I self-love, when I love myself, then I'm able to be vital enough, to be healthy enough, so that I can minister, so to speak, from the overflow. But when I don't love myself, I am corroding myself, I'm wasting myself. Did you hear that statement that says hurting people hurt people? It is absolutely true. The guys who are hurting, and this hurting I'm putting it in quotes, okay? It could be that you are overworking, you're not resting, you're hurting, but you don't know that you're hurting. You see the paradox? When we talk about you, we're talking about your body, we're talking about your mind, you're talking about your spirit. You might not know you are hurting the body, but you're hurting the body by overworking, by sitting in weird positions the whole day, and you end up hurting people. Maybe you end up hurting yourself at the end of the day, and hurting people hurt people. So self-care, self-love is the greatest form of medicine that you can ever have. And I learned this the hard way. See, there's a point in time that I felt sick. Actually, just the level of my vomiting, puking, throwing up per hour was just a worry, a big time worry. And I honestly thought that I was, suffering from a very serious disease. And so I did what any sane person would do. You check yourself into a hospital. And it is always a good feeling, when you know that you are in the presence of the people who are health practitioners who take care of you. And of course they did a battery of tests and so on. And after some time, they came back and they said there is no there is no disease we see inside of you. Your vitals are okay, your blood is okay, there's no virus, there's no bacteria. You are overworking. Imagine I was vomiting as if I was a sickler, and strength had gone and so on and so forth. I was basically nearly incapacitated. I was incapacitated because I was overworking. I thought I was, loving my vision and loving my purpose so much so that there's no time to waste. And I caught myself telling people at some point in time, I need 26 hours, I need 36 hours in a day. 24 hours are not enough. Yeah, I know there's a part sometimes when we have that kind of a feeling. But even as we do that, we need to realize that our lives can only get better when we do. If we don't get better, our lives are not going to get better. See, we need to work on ourselves and then the rest will follow. Let me tell you this, we don't have 200 years to live. Maybe even 100. We don't have those to live. We have very few years to be alive here. And I know that if we're not going to care enough for ourselves and just care about the job, about the purpose, this purpose has got to be deployed, it's got to be done, and only thing we're doing is work, we will end up not seeing that purpose being fulfilled because we are hurting ourselves, we're hurting our body, hurting our spirit, we're hurting our emotions, we're hurting our mind. We'll end up, either dying real death or dying in the spirit, dying in the emotions, or dying in the mind, so to speak, and then will not be productive at the end of the day. So that's why it's important for you and I, even as we've discovered what our purpose in life is, whatever it is that you've discovered is, the first person that you need to take care of lavishly is you. Let me tell you a very funny but also sad story. There is a particular animal, I've forgotten the name of that animal, but it's mostly found, I think, in the United States of America and the Caribbean, I think. This animal is like a weasel, and it has a very clean, one of its characteristics is its fur. It's white in color, very fine and very clean fur. And its biggest assignment, so to speak, or its biggest pet, whatever occupation, is to take care of its fur. It doesn't go where there is dirt, and that's what the hunters of that animal capitalize on. You know what they do? They go and they paint their holes or the home of the animal with tar, so that they live in these holes. So they paint the entrance of the hole with tar, and then when the animal has gotten out of the hole, that's when they go and paint. So when they are hunting and they come across it, it starts running towards the home. And when it gets to the entrance where there is tar, guess what? For one thing on the side, there is its life. On the other side, there is its fur. You know what it does? Because it doesn't want to mess the fur in the tar that is on the entrance of the door, of the hole, it doesn't get in. It risks its own life to save itself. To save the fur, but to risk its life. Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense? And it holds the dogs that are, barking at it, holds the dogs at bay until the hunters come and they get it. The trade-off was the fur, which is, a good thing, but then at the end of the day, the health, the life. And I can equate the same thing. Probably, maybe our purpose is not that critical as far as we are. I think I need to do a whole episode about that. That my life on one end, my purpose on the other. Which one is the most important? So this animal selected the fur over its own existence. And that was the end of the animal. And that's how they behave. See, that is what we end up doing when we are not putting aside our purpose, so to speak, and take care of ourselves. Take care of, we embrace ourselves and embrace our body and love our body and our mind and our spirit, because it's an amazing thing. It's the most amazing thing you'll ever own. You will not own a thing so precious, so expensive, so dear than your own body, your own life, your own soul, your own spirit, your own mind, your own emotions. You will not own something that dear. Never. If you think I'm kidding you, lose any one of them. Okay, lose your body and get your soul, whatever. Lose any one of these guys. Lose your mind, for instance. Ask Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher suffered dementia, and she was demented at some point in time, and she just became quote unquote a vegetable. You cannot have anything cuter than your health, anything more important than your health. There is nothing as precious as your body, your spirit, your soul, your mind, and your emotions. You are not that cheap. You are very expensive. And your purpose, on the other end, is only going to be as good as the quality of your health. In fact, the speed of the delivery of your purpose is determined also by the quality of your health. If you're doing your purpose when you're sick, what happens? It is curtailed. And I know I'm speaking here in general terms. I'm not talking about guys who are born with diseases such like sickle cell anemia. There is basically nothing you can do about that disease other than sensitizing people that before they get into relationship, they should check each other to find out, do they have a component in them that can cause sickle cell anemia. I'm not talking about guys who are born with such like conditions. I'm saying that maybe you are quote unquote normal. If you don't take care of your health, the speed of delivery of your purpose is going to be affected. And I read, or maybe I heard, the story of two guys. Very interesting story. Today or yesterday. Both of them were employed to cut down some lumber, some trees, to fell some trees and so on. And every single day they will work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day. But there's one guy who used to take a break of 1 hour at lunchtime, and he goes away and he comes back. But every single time he will cut more trees than the guy who was working. And so they asked him, what is your secret? Why you? I'm here all along. You take a break, but you're still doing much more than I am. What do you do? What's the secret? He said, I take that 1 hour off to sharpen my axe. And then I come back and I'm able to work better. First of all, the sharpening of the axe, even taking the break, revitalizes him. The sharpening of the axe is another thing, is a bonus unto it. Other than just swatting and swatting and swatting, at the end of the day, and getting nothing at the end of the day. They say that if you want to see blisters on your hands, then it means that your axe is blunt. Okay, they don't say, I'm just making that up, but it's true. Your axe is blunt. And Steve Covey told us that one of the biggest habits, in fact the sixth habit of the highly effective people, is to sharpen the saw. That means take care of yourself and make yourself sharper, so that you can go back and you can do what your mission and your vision is. Habit number 1, habit number 2 is about your vision and mission. But you take care of yourself in habit number 6. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of the other things in life. So I'm just saying that it is important for you and I to consider ourselves as treasure. You'll never find treasure like you in the face of the earth. There is no treasure like you. I don't know if you've ever seen, when you're traveling on the road, sometimes there is a dog that crosses and people just knock the dog accidentally, of course, maybe a cat or maybe even a snake and just run over, or a deer in the path and they just run over, and it's just gone. But it's very different when a man or a human being is the one that has been knocked down. Why? Can you tell me why instinctively we react to our fellow kind being knocked down, but then when a stray dog is being knocked down, we just feel sad for fleeting seconds, but the human being, everything comes to a standstill. You are very precious. We're going to continue discussing this, why your health and vitality is important in your purpose pursuit tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.